All right, super. Well, welcome today, everybody. We're going to talk about what piecemeal solidarity looks like as a participating partner and as an interested person in the community who may want to see this event series thrive and keep moving forward. So we'll have just a quick refresher. Some of this will look similar to last year, but there are some new pieces. So we're really excited to share those with you. All right. So great start and 5 to 1. I know many of you on the call currently know, but for those who are watching the recording, Great Start and 5 to 1 are partners and similar initiatives, yet different in some ways. So Great Start is the Great Start collaboratives all over the state of Michigan. It serves families all over and serving as advocates, cheerleaders, thought leaders, teachers, students, coaches, and team members, parents from parent coalitions, have formed strong coalitions to lend voice and hand to the belief that every child from birth to age 4 needs and deserves a great start in life. So 5 to 1 is a project of the Great Start Collaborative that brings together families and local partners to ensure that all children reach their highest potential. So 5 to 1 is a system with 3 components. We have neighborhood centers, we have a regional network connecting parents, early childhood professionals, service providers, community stakeholders through social media and a dedicated website. And we have a core support team of early childhood professionals and parent leaders. So just to get us all on the same page with who we are as the sponsor of this event series. We have 4 outcomes for today. One is to share the vision for piecemeal solidarity and how community partners can embrace the project. We want to review last year's feedback and lessons learned and provide information on how Great Start and 5 to 1 can support a partner's participation. And we'll lay a foundation for communication and support for piecemeal solidarity and provide tools to maintain connection to continue to involve our families. Next, Piecemeal Solidarity started as a vision last year. It's come so far in a year, but this is initially a project designed by our collaborative intended to engage families with young children in community activities that promote inclusion, appreciation of diversity, and providing connection to community and globally inspired meals with literature. So all of these awesome, happy things coming together in one place. So why is this an important project to support? Families are feeling more isolated now than ever with COVID-19. We're having a lot more shutdowns coming. I just got word my kids will be remote learning again starting next week. So this is a welcome opportunity for families to have some connection in their communities. Our cultural diversity in this region is limited, and opportunities to experience the traditional arts and cultures of diverse people are not as grand as those in more urban areas. Food insecurity, especially during COVID-19, limits opportunities to access different kinds of foods. I think we've all seen grocery store shelves looking a little less stocked in the last year. And this project can build connection to other activities, resources, and supports for parents and children in your community, including those that build the understanding of diversity and build social connections for parents. So no better way to explain what, I realized you may not be able to hear that. Is that true? All right, I'm going to stop share super quickly. Thanks for your patience, and let me check that box to allow you to hear what's in front of you.
One world, one people, one tribe, one tribe. What I know. We
where we stand all together, one voice saying yes we can. Each one, reach one till we pull ourselves up, cause we all one fam. From the rest of the block to the Perry to the Rock, we connect that love. Cause the people with power feel the power of the people when we stand as one.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be indigenous, you heard of us. Max Heaven, the murderer, spreading the love with the water and earth. Understand against hate, gotta know what the purpose is. We rise, the climate is changing, the signs of the times. It's time to start praying. Pray for the world and community. Prayers are more powerful when we're in unity.
What I know.
Up today, hungry for a change, new path to take, can't stay the same, it's been too long, pointing out who's right or wrong, can you hear me out? All we need is a little bit of love, take time to heal and it starts with us. Hand in hand, I put my trust in one world, reunite, it's a must. Hold on to hope, we can overload, we can break the code with a single note, sing out for the world to hear that our time is now, no more for tears. I looked into my son's eyes, a new day in a new light. Lift the veil and dwell so peaceful. Come together, one world, one people.
What I know, we are one. What I know, no, we are one. It's who you are, it's who I am. We all bleed the same blood, yeah.
So no better words than a picture or two or three. Much more concrete for people, I think, after seeing that. And maybe you've seen it before, but always good to think about what did it look like and how do we want to shape it going forward. So with that, just some feedback to review from what people said they enjoyed about Piecemeal Solidarity. So children trying new foods. A lot, 65% reported their child tried new foods, which is really valued in some families. I get texts after like, oh, Missy's got a grape leaf sticking out of her mouth. What do we, that was really wonderful. So many enjoyed the early literacy materials as well, appreciating a safe community event to go to during COVID, and liking the opportunity about talking about other cultures and experiencing an element from that culture. 44% valued the chance to learn more about community resources, and provided I can shift my view here, 65% were glad to get a copy of the cookbook when they went to 3 community events for the series. There were some suggestions from families as they participated, and someone clearly, we need more advertising. I didn't learn about it until it was almost done. Giving more information about the key food being served, such as how it's prepared. Also, they'd love to hear more fun facts and statistics about the country in a pamphlet. More cook at home meals. Many of our meals were prepared and ready to eat, but there were families who really thought those cook at home together meal kits were wonderful too, and we strive to have a balance there. So definitely have some things in the works to fix that. And a warning label on registration in advance if something is spicy. A menu including all the meals. Nothing. And a great program, but feeling the need to continue to have COVID safe procedures for pickup, and knowing what the menu is ahead of time. That was a theme that came up a few times. So again, and making sure our hosts have the tools that they need and can state their parameters if indeed they have some. Ideas to improve piecemeal solidarity. We wanted parents suggested, or people partners suggested, this was everybody, providing related activities for kids, not just the meal. If 5-to-1 playgroups are operating, making sure to promote the piecemeal event series within those groups. Having a sign with common allergies for the dinners, for examples, meals that contain dairy or nuts. Including a fact sheet about the featured country, virtual kids cooking classes, maybe seeing if any of the kids want to share videos of them cooking some new recipes to inspire other kids to do it too. This paragraph here, this comment really pertains to having that donation possibility, as the stigma of free food sometimes comes with assumptions about the need or resource availability. So making sure people know how this is put together. And having parents being able to participate, not just partake, was another one. And inclusivity, those that are food restricted, food allergies, feeding tubes, how do we incorporate and make this event series more inclusive? So those were some suggestions as we think about, and naturally an expansion to some of our areas where we were unable to create an event. So Mansalona, Kingsley, some of the other outlying areas in the region. Piecemeal solidarity, though, that made our family want to. This was great. Just take a second to read over some of these. I think the benefits that we assume are going to happen or plan to happen are not necessarily those that do. And oftentimes we're pleasantly surprised. So really the interest in giving back and being together, creating community, just being adventurous as far as our eating is concerned, cooking more. And so that was what kind of happened for families, what they wanted to do more of as a result of this event series. But so as hosts and partners, that's who's been asked to come and view this call today. What are you being asked to do? Maybe you're a returning partner, maybe you're somebody who's new and you just want to try to get involved. But what we're really asking is to provide a safe way for families to receive a globally inspired grab and go meal, either fully prepared and ready to eat, or a grocery box of ingredients to cook at home. That your organization prepares and distributes in February, March, or April. Some meals went as far as May last year, and we'd be happy to go that far into the spring if people are so inclined. We are asking you to use the provided cooking class Global Feast cookbook for inspiration to prepare and serve at least one recipe from the book as part of the meal. I know some meals, everyone interpreted this a little bit differently, but we can talk a little bit more about that after the presentation portion of this call. We're also asking you to distribute the early literacy and talking is teaching materials and any other literature about your organization with the meal to families who participate. And lastly, we would ask you, if participating, to create a stamp to provide families so that they can collect stamps on their passports to earn their free copy of Cooking Class Global Feast, or the bonus item, which we'll get to in a little bit, if they already earned a copy of the book last year. How will a Great Start and 5 to 1 support hosts and partners in participating? We will provide you with all the materials that you see: books, posters, passports, resource guides, and of course, copies of the cookbook when our families earn them. We will connect and promote your event across our network of 5 counties, including our distribution list for all of our 5 to 1 neighborhood centers. So even though 5 to 1 playgroups are not meeting face-to-face currently, all parents who've ever been to one of those can receive email from us, and they will receive information about Piecemeal soon. We will create digital flyers for distribution to your audience. We'll give you a free copy of Cooking Class Global Feast by Deanna F. Cook. And we will promote, we'll be promoting a donation system this year for meals, just an opportunity for donations to go directly to the hosting organization at the time of the event. We'll provide copies of the 5 to 1 Early Childhood Resource Guide, which there's a new printing coming. So sometime during the Piecemeal event series, we'll have a 4th edition ready. And we will also be providing the passports, the books, and other. We also did a parent support signs last year, so we do have some of those left. We can work those into. We'll also provide information about on social media about the event series. And we will also connect your organization to Great Start Parents activities that reinforce the mission of Piecemeal Solidarity. So World Cafes, I know there's been some talk about getting some cafes going again, even if they are virtual. The Family Equity Challenge happened last year, as well as some other Strengthening Families trainings. So flyer creation, this was something that we didn't necessarily have a visual on last year, but we did provide as a host, you have the choice to design your own flyer for distribution that talks about your event, or we can at 5 to 1 customize our template with your information. So you'll see the graphic in the middle is the individual event flyer. We also have a general flyer of all the events that are with hyperlinks to all of the registrations. So you can see on the graphic on the right side of your screen, each of those is a hyperlink. You could click on any one of those and instantly register for those. And those were all found. That is found at the Piecemeal Solidarity page on the Great Start Kids website. So we'll try to provide that. We'll have that web page address for you in just a bit. And we close the event, just so you know, 2 days, we close all registration links 2 days before the event so that we can prepare for the number of people who've registered unless a cap is reached prior to that. So we encourage families to register early and just to help us with our planning and shopping. So what's new this year? This is kind of the exciting part. We have a few new things. First off, MSU Extension wants to partner with us to offer global cooking classes in 4 different sessions. So we will be dreaming and scheming those sessions up. And ideally, we'll be able to have it in a place where child supervision is also an option during that time. Also new this year, we have parent ambassadors to help with curating cultural information and or meal preparation and serving. So kind of possibly a dual role, but really the curating cultural information is something that parents really thought they really wanted and are willing to step up. And some of you are on the call today, and thank you for being part of that team of parents who will help curate this information to make the experience more meaningful at home. Kalkaska 0 to 6 work groups is investigating participation by offering more take-home meals to cook them, grocery bags, grocery boxes, whatever it looks like, so that we'll have some events out in our eastern counties as well. And we have a bonus item being negotiated for those who earned their copy of the cookbook last year. Never fear. You don't need 2 copies of it necessarily or multiple, but we are working on a pretty cool possibility as something that can be earned should you already have a cookbook. And we'll also be providing some language for our hosting organizations about donation collection. So those, again, we're not providing an online platform for donation, but at the time of the event at meal pickup, we'll have a way and some language to help families know that it's okay to donate if they want to see this event series continue, and just to support the efforts of people doing this at no charge to families. But we definitely really want to make sure families know it's not an expected component of their attendance. So you might be wondering what decisions you need to make. And so the deadlines here are posted. We would like to know whether or not your organization would like to participate by January 20th. You don't have to decide, but just say yes or no. And then by the end of the month, we would really like to know when you're going to host your event. Are you thinking February? Are you thinking March? Are you thinking April? And as specific as you can be about dates and times. We'd like to know what recipes you'd like to prepare sooner than later. Obviously, the people who choose the soonest get first kind of pick, as not to. We actually never had any duplication last year. It was really came off pretty well. So I think that's going to be helpful for families to know also. And even though some families said, well, I think the whole meal should be of the country that it's from. Last year, we just had the one recipe. This was a new process. So, and some people wanted the entire meal to be exactly from that country, which I know many places tried to do, but it wasn't always the case for every meal. So that was the preferred by those who participated. Consider copying the meal recipe also, even if you're doing a prepared ready to eat meal. That was something that we're hoping to have, just so families can have that and remake it if they so choose. Instructions about meal pickup. This is something just between the hosts and myself, really, just that I can help put the registration link together about, do you have specific directions? Do we have to go in a particular door? Are the meals going to be brought to your cars? You know, those kinds of things are helpful to be able to promote with the event registration. Also, a sticker and a stamp. We ask that you design a 2-inch by 1-inch sticker that can fit in that size space. So the space in the passport is 2 inches by 1 inch. There is a 1.5-inch circle decal. I don't know if you're buying labels and you want to just pick something that will fit. That's a pretty cool one. It's a little different. You can run them through your printer. You guys got really creative last year with it, and I know there'll be similar awesome looking passport stamps this year as well. So what's next? After the session, I will be sending out a link to the survey. It's actually on our website already. This is the address, thegreatstartkids.com/peace-meal-solidarity. This is all on there already. This recording will be put there as well. So based on the dates that you choose to serve your meals, I will contact you to help create the flyer, we'll talk it out a little bit about what you want to do and create a timeline together. And I'll make sure you get your copy of the cookbook as soon as possible, your early literacy and talking is teaching materials, and resource guides for distribution. And we're hoping, this is just a lot of fun. Families did have fun with this. And I think the meal hosts had a great time with it too. It created for some really unique collaborations that people really appreciated. I'd also like to thank Dana for bringing this MSU extension. MSU extension is offering a Cooking for Crowds online training. There's several dates that are all happening in advance of the Piecemeal event series and maybe during it. But if you're a partner who's a little uncertain about how to cook for a crowd, these classes may be a nice option to ease your anxiety about that. But overall, a great tool to have in our back pockets. So I want to open it up now. I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our group here and see what questions you have, or if there are items for discussion that you'd like to bring up.
Missy, I know last year we had a really great reception having the kids cook the food from, not kids, but the teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a partnership is that going to be this year?
Well, that's a good question. I've invited Chef Darrell over at the Career Tech Center to participate again. I know it's really tricky again with COVID, but they really enjoyed it. They got a lot out of it, and I think it's entirely possible that they would be on board again to participate. They did the nice menus, and they had that involvement was really strong. And I agree with you, Bailey. It should definitely be back. So. Other questions or comments? I know many of you are seasoned veterans in participating at our events, and if you are part of, a congregation, a community organization that would like to partner, feel free to share our webpage, give them my contact information. I'd be happy to get them on board as a meal host, and some of our former partners, and bringing on some new organizations as well. Many are faith partners, but that's not it's not needed, any group. We've had libraries serve meals. We've had also just a lot of different scenarios for it. So the doors open. And I think cost wise, we were able to feed with a donation on the meat end of things. We were able to feed 33 families or so on a budget of about $150. So you don't have to think about these as being really expensive or a huge cost investment. And I do think that once people know that there's the donation piece of it, I think that will continue to offset the costs for hosts to participate. Right, well, I'm at least going to stop our recording here. And